Namaste. Welcome to the new moon. So we're now in Aries. We've been here for quite a bit of time. We had our full moon and now we are in full Aries season. Everything is go. We've got the moon, we've got the sun, we've got Venus, we've got Mercury. We're all in Aries and all the planets are going forwards. And what does that mean? That brings us this drive, this desire to start things, to get things going, to create new, to bring into our life more action. You know, we've moved from the spring equinox, we've moved into this yang phase of the year. It is the time of doing and creating. And in this new cycle of Aries, we have the opportunity here to create whatever we want in the next year. Yeah, footnote, we cannot completely disassociate ourselves with everything that's gone before, but the seeds that we sow now are going to be the ones that we are going to be harvesting in the autumn time, are the things that we're going to have to improve and work on, and it's not necessarily going to happen easily. Equally, it may happen just like that. And right now is the perfect time to initiate. It is such a good time to start anything that's been there in your awareness, in your mind for a while, that you want to get going, that you want to get started. Now is so opportune. There's nothing going backwards. There's not too many challenging astrological squares. It's let's go, let's do this, let's start our new day. We still have the big planets of Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius. And just to remind ourselves what that means, Aquarius is all to do with the future. It's all to do with humanity, about making more democratic systems, about increasing technology and science, and information and ways that we connect to the whole of humanity, so that we're ultimately becoming more equal and more one. It's to do with creating these group working systems whereby this hierarchy or imbalance of equity or resources is far more harmonious with all the individuals that make us as a group of human beings living on this one planet. So this connection to our whole, to all humans being part of the same species, to seeing each other as our brothers and sisters, to finding our own unique place in this crazy world so that we can all flourish and share our unique skills, but we're ultimately working for the greater good of the whole. So this is Aquarius. This is what Saturn is causing us to work new structures, new systems, and Jupiter is expanding into the future. It's bringing these massive new technological and scientific revolutions and expansions, and together, you know, they're both needed in order to create. So in our own little lives, we're in a new chapter. Okay, so all that we've been through last year has kind of brought us into awareness of the things that we don't want to do, the things that aren't working for us. And right now, we are, yes, wanting to get back to normal, but we can't let that just simple impatience take us into creating just the same habitual cycles as what we were living before all of this contraction happened to our societies and to our own individual lives. When we think about the sign of Aries, yes, it's the sign of new beginnings. It's a fire sign. So fire relating to the mind. The cardinal aspect relates to this creating energy, this initiating energy. And then we have And then we have its rulers of Mars and Mercury. And Mars rules its personality. So it's the warrior. It wants to go into battle. It wants to, it's got all this energy. It's like, the muscular part of our psyche that wants to go and charge into battle and create something new. Yeah, we're still connected to Pisces here. There's still a little bit of ending happening, and that fire is going to burn the endings, transmute them, and create this new path. But that Martian kind of energy in us, in our psyche, can get really impatient when things aren't going our way. And equally, that impatience can stop us from consciously creating something new. It's just a kind of, when you've got loads of energy in your body and you just need to move to get it out, whatever, you just want to get it out. And I know that's not everyone gets that. It's probably, a proportion of society, but people who just need to get some energy out, right? And that's what Mars wants us to do. That's what part of the Aryan aspect is influencing a lot of us, okay? So we have to bring some light and some mindfulness into what are we being impatient about? What are those things that we want to do, we're impatient, we're not doing? And are they true creations of the new, or are they simply rehashing and like sneakily disguising what we've already been doing in a new packaging? So it feels new, but actually it's the same. And that's where the Mercury aspect of Aries comes in. So Mercury relates to the mind directly. It's like the messenger of the gods, right? And if we think about the mind, it's made up of these three sections, but we're going to talk about two: the rational and the abstract. And Mercury draws that message from the gods, from the abstract, into the rational. So that part of Aries is so important now, and that's what we're going to be meditating on today. We're going to be trying to clear all those things that we presume we're going to be able to do straight away, immediately, and see actually if there's maybe something else. And in the new moon, when we can't see the moon right now, and so there isn't this emotional pull that the full moon has on us. And in this new moon, when you look out in the stars, at the stars in the night sky, you can see the faintest glimmers of those stars far more clearly. So in these new moon meditations, we actually receive the more fainter glimmers of intuition. The full moon is, we get these stark realizations that are presented to ourselves predominantly through our emotional or astral impressions that are affecting our personality and our psyche, and are coming up from the unconscious and presenting themselves there for us. And we can get massive realizations. It's also an incoming of light directly from the sun, because it's been reflected from the sun via the lunar object to Earth. But in the new moon, when we don't have that, actually what we do have is this amazing space within which to listen. And listening is the real key for all new moons, regardless. But I do think it's so essential that we take this time, particularly in the Aryan full and new moon, Taurian and Gemini. So those three points are how we create the cycle. And if we want to get deep about that, those three stages in any project, in any idea, in anything that you are trying to build in your home, trying to create in your life, you have to have an idea of what that is. Yeah, Aries. You have to know crystal clear, what is your new beginning? What is your new idea? It has to be vivid. It has to be crystal clear in your mind. And then in Taurus, we have to work out what has to change, what has to transmute, you know. We have to give it a desire base that we really want it. There has to be that kind of level of like, yeah, this idea, I want it in my life. And when that idea from a mental plane meets this desire from an emotional plane, yeah, it starts to have a lot more power, right? And ability to create. And then in the third stage, that Gemini stage, we start to network, we start to link it into how it's going to grow and learn and connect to other people in our neighborhoods who are the people that we need around us in order for it to grow and expand. It's also the blueprint, okay, of how it's going to happen, right? If we think of our life, you know, the Aries phase is like say 0 to 7 years, right? This is the first stage. This is the initiating stage, and then the second phase we start to, it's like 7 to 14. We get those emotional habits. We're really imprinted from yes, our family, our community, our friends, our society. And then in a third phase, that final kind of imprinting stage of 14 to 21, we're properly expanding our brain and our mind in education or in work, right? And so those three sections in the start of our life really shape what happens in our life, whether we have to unravel what happened in those early years, the kind of Aries season of our life, or whether we have to rework those emotional habits of our, 7 to 14 life, or whether it's more the unlearning or the reprogramming of how we think, or development from the intellect to the intuition, more expanding of our brain to connect to more higher realities, such as our own intrinsic consciousness or our soul. Yeah. And that then shapes what we are able to create. Yeah. Another way to think of it is like, our capacity to receive ideas, our capacity to transmute habits, and our capacity to communicate, on all levels, right? Those three things are going to shape whatever we want to create in the world. So in this meditation, in this talk right now, we're in the solar phase. Like every year, the sun goes through the 12 signs of the zodiac, and through that, every year we have this cycle of growth within us. And if we're conscious of that cycle of the sun moving through those signs, and not just it is symbolic, it's deeply symbolic. But if we get on board with those symbols, the as above, so below starts to link up. We start to see the symbols in our. We ask for signs, we see the signs. We look for synchronicities, and we see synchronicities because we've started a dialogue with our higher self, and our higher self is always going to offer those points of guidance, whether it's in meditation or whether it's from the external world, right? So here we are now. What do we want? What do we want from this punctuation in our annual cycle? I guess the big questions are, what are you getting impatient about? What's that Mars doing? It's in Gemini right now. So for a lot of us, that's going to be influencing us to want to learn more. It's going to want us to expand our brains a bit more, study, maybe teach, maybe, meet up with our brothers and sisters. That's, Gemini thing, or our neighbors, another Gemini thing. Or maybe it's wanting us to get into our local community a lot more. And I think there's definitely a bunch of impatience around that right now. And then the second question is, what are the fainter whispers of what is starting to arise within you that wants to find its place in your world, wants to be created through you. You know, sometimes we have, like, those of you who are very sensitive or highly intuitive, sometimes you pick up on a bunch of ideas, right? And not all of them are for you. Just because you're receiving messages from the gods doesn't mean all of them are for you. Yeah. So we have to also be mindful of, well, what are the big ideas that feel in your heart, in your gut, in this highest place of your mind, feel true? And that kind of when you sense this idea, there comes about it some emotional feeling that you desire it, right? And I know that's a bit of a controversial statement in kind of spiritual communities, you know, often it's a severing of desire, and we do have to be careful our mind of our fixed identities latching onto the same thing. So I hope that in this meditation, we're going to get some clarification as to whether the idea is for you, whether it is an idea dressed up in sheep's clothing and actually is just doing the same as what you've done every other year of your life. And hopefully maybe some of you will even get some new out of the blue things. It is the time to get tangible, okay? I will say that. You know, floaty ideas have been perfect for the kind of more yin phase of the year, you know, the Virgo through, well, Libra through to Pisces phase of the zodiac. But now we need to get tangible. It's like we're magicians, we're creators of the world, our world, through our thoughts, through the words that we speak, through the actions that we take, through the feelings that we communicate. And it's all within our power. So without any further ado, let's begin. So find yourself a comfortable seated position, cross-legged or kneeling, or if you're on a chair, soles of the feet on the ground, and sit yourself up nice and tall. Let's just check on that throat center, chin to the chest, and inhale, chin up to the sky. Exhale. How are you communicating right now? With yourself, with others? And then I want you to bring one hand onto your belly and just bring the other hand onto your heart. Just rub your belly a little bit and maybe tap your heart a little bit. And then take a big inhale and exhale through your mouth as we close the eyes softly and lengthen the crown up to the sky. Inhale, growing, exhale, rooting. Inhale, growing, exhale, rooting. See if you can visualize as you inhale, drawing the breath up from the base of your body, up through the spine, into the crown of your head, and up to the sky above you. Exhale back through the crown, through the spine, and down into the ground beneath you. Inhale, growing up nice and tall. Exhale, rooting down deep. Another 5 breaths like that. See if you can slow down your breath. See if you can find yourself in this present moment. And now breathing into your belly, bring your awareness into your belly. The core of our body, Manipura chakra, relating directly to Aries, this drive to start, this fire. And just observe your fire within your belly. And grow your fire big enough to feel your strength, to feel your power. But not too big that it burns you, that it burns others. Observe the size of your fire within your belly and see if you can find this middle place where there's power and strength, where the anger is transformed into the power that you need to take you into a new place, a new way of living. And know that you are perfect just the way you are. Nothing needs to be rushed. And now bringing your awareness to your heart. Feeling the harmony of the heart, the peace within its center. And seeing if in your creative imagination you can bring these two centers together so that we can peacefully take action in our life. So that we can transform any inactive anger into peaceful action. When we act from a place of truth, we are acting from a place of peace. Our thoughts, our words, our actions are harmless. And then bringing your gaze inwards and upwards to your third eye. And see if you can focus on finding a place inwards and upwards of your brow center. Take your tongue to the roof of your palate and bring your gaze all the way up through the crown of your head. Aspire upwards, aspire to know your truth, aspire to know the next step, your new beginning, your new project, your new relationship, your new job, your new way of interacting, of treating yourself. What is your new? And into that mind, be open. And keep focusing there for a few moments more. Keeping an openness, a receiving, aspiring openness. Nothing is ever set in stone. The way we experience outer events are our choice, our creative choice. How we respond to external events is also. And just asking to get a clue or a visual. A download. And then taking something that's either come into your mind right now or an idea of what you want to start or initiate. And ask yourself, what's the next step? What's the next tangible thing that you need to do? What is that needs launching? And when you have it in your mind, ask yourself if it's new. Is it new? Does it serve you? Does it serve others? Is it helping you actualize and express your unique gifts? And just listen. Bringing your gaze inwards and upwards to that third eye again, taking your gaze higher to the highest point in your creative imagination, above your head, to a bright star of light. Or maybe it's a faint star of light, but whatever light it is, allow it to draw down into your mind's eye, into your brain, and radiate out to all other individuals across this planet that make up our humanity. Be part of that network of light. And then into your belly. Breathing in and out. Bring your awareness to your heart, into the deepest place of love within your heart. And your love for yourself, allow that to arise. And your love for others, to all other human beings on this planet, allow yourself to feel the connection and network of love that you are part of. And then into your belly again, inhale and exhale. Feeling your power, that fire, that drive, that Martian kind of go into battle harmlessly, using and reigning from your mind. Feeling your power and connecting to all other individuals on this planet who too are magicians and creators of their own worlds and the world that we are all part of. Feel yourself part of all of this one humanity in this one earth, on this third rock from the sun, in this galaxy, in this universe, probably part of many universes. Bringing the idea you have for yourself down from your mind, from that plane of mind, bringing it down as clearly as you can to your heart. And give it power in your belly. And let it grow. Let the seed be set in the soil of your being. I'm going to sound on 3 times. Inhale and exhale. And inhale for Om, listening or joining in. Om. Om. Releasing your hands to your knees, seeing how you feel, staying in meditation if you need to, opening a journal and beginning to write if you have things that you need to cast down in stone. And in that process of writing, the aspect of Mercury is able to communicate through you and into what you're writing, and hopefully through the writing that will set clearer signposts and actions, intentions that you can make tangible, realistic measures and steps towards making happening in your life. So I hope you got something from that meditation. Of course, don't worry if there was loads of thoughts. That's the first stage as well. If you're new to meditation, or even as experienced as you can be, we all get days when these thoughts distract us like birds flying in the sky. And really in Aries, that's kind of the deeper truth of the sign and the learning and of this first stage. If we can use our mind clearly and free ourselves of we're freeing ourselves from the control of these bird-like thoughts that flitter through our head. We can clearly draw an idea down into the more physical planes that we can see it more clearly. And if we can transcend that first part, then the rest is far more practical. We've all had those type of trainings in school and things that we have to learn, things that we have to create tangibly to make things happen. So for me, it is a new beginning. It's the start of the Easter term for all of my children. I have slightly more time on my hands. And because of that, I'm offering 2 types of sessions for this month only on really reduced rates. So I'm offering a 30-minute astrological overview, and I'm offering 90-minute soul empowerment sessions. And those trying to act as a catalyst to help you realign yourself back to your soul truth, maybe address a certain aspect in your life that you're in a transition through, or answering specific questions relating to certain areas of your life that you want to work on and take action on this year. So that's my Arian offer to you this month. Do check out my social media. It has the links to my Calendly page to book an appointment there. So hopefully I will see some of you this month. In 2 weeks' time, obviously, we'll have the full moon meditation. And there may be a new reshaping of the full moon meditation. So if you are keen on the full moon meditation with me, do keep an eye out on social media. So until next time, namaste.